Let's see. Where were we? Ah, yes. That's right. A ball. After so much filth and depravity, our heroes decided to engage with some culture amongst the upper crust of Erdenine. Drawn to the secluded Prailme Manor by an invitation to a ball hosted by the siblings Bip and Bap, Faunalyn attended, along with Clay and Glimki, in hopes of learning more about the connection between their hosts and the disappearance of Princess Callista Galtries. The team split up, and while Faunalyn mingled with the likes of the Honorable Xerxes Humiliation, Earl Asfull of Crastix, and renowned actor and comedian Garfield, Clay and Glimki introduced themselves to the other servants who had been brought along. Through their conversing, Clay learned of their host's distasteful practice of feeding their horses to the owlbears that stalk the surrounding woods, as well as a tower that was rumored to be haunted. Glimki, meanwhile, learned of a gathering of carriage drivers who chose to spend their time gambling while the festivities played out. He decided to join this crew, where he met several servants, including an aging man named Mindaugus, who was in the employ of Prince Elling Malfirth. Whilst gambling with this group, Glimki realized that he recognized the man's voice from the Kinku recording that had been previously acquired. Using this information, Glimki asked Mindaugus what he had been doing at the docks the night of the princess's disappearance. And although he claimed to have been elsewhere, he was clearly agitated and soon departed from the game. Inside the manor, Faunalyn was brought face to face with a individual from her past, an old nobleman by the name of Hamlet Pilton, whom she abandoned as quickly as possible. Faunalyn mingled amongst the other nobility and was offered plate after plate of delicious appetizers. She spent her time fishing for information from the likes of Ulwin Rothbard and Lady Electra Voon, with varying degrees of success. As the appetizer hour came to an end, Prince Malfirth attempted to poach Clay out from Faunalyn, insulting her deeply in the process. As dinner began, gossip was shared and bobs were exchanged, and a simmering rivalry between the prince and Electra Voon was revealed. Shortly thereafter, the prince excused himself and Clay gave follow. She watched as the prince, summoned by his servant Mindaugus, entered a nearby hedge maze with a crooked tower at the center. Clay followed the two men into the maze, where she overheard them discussing our heroic trio, and Malfirth announced that he was going to summon a butcher to have them silenced, so that his plans may continue uninterrupted. Upon overhearing this, Clay hurried back to the mansion to warn Faunalyn before it was too late. "You already said all this." "Did I?" Silly me. On with the story.
Come gather round, travelers, and sit on the stoop. We'll tell you a story about Bard Soup. Three lovable scamps in our traveling troupe. We'll tell you a story about Bard Soup. It's super time. I'll be there for soup. Hey, welcome back to Bard Soup, everybody. I am your friend, first most, dungeon master, second most, and a ghost with the most, your host, Zach Meikle. Joined today by three lovely friends who all share an apartment next door. First friend, Prima Zhao. Who are you and who do you play?
Well, my name is Prima, first host, and I play Clay Campbell, second most.
That's beautiful. Jordan.
Shenandler Bong.
Yep.
I play Glimki Treefellow.
Wow. And she's more of a Seinfeld gal, Shannon.
What's the deal with Chenandler Bong? I play Faunalyn Vaydark.
I don't know how we get worse at these week over week.
It's getting worse.
It's getting worse. And welcome back to Bard Soup, everybody. It's soupin' time. When we last left our heroes, they were scattered on the Prailme estate. Clay had just followed the Prince Elling Malforth into a hedge maze and overheard a dangerous conversation. But why am I telling you this? You already heard it in the recap. So we joined Clay in the reception hall of Prailme Manor. You have just summoned Faunalyn away from her crow ceviche, and I'd like to think it's one of those things where Faunalyn was about to bite down on a piece of delicious moist crow just to have the plate yanked away as the servant says, "Excuse me, ma'am, you requested in the main hall." And we now reconvene in said hall with Faunalyn and Clay. Servants are moving about, not really paying you much mind, ensuring that the dinner service goes successfully, and you two have a moment to yourselves.
Lady Faunalyn, I followed Elling Malworth, and he...
Malworth, yes, the prince.
Yes, he met up with his servant, and I think they're definitely on to us. He was the one who sent someone after my friends, I'm pretty sure.
Ooh.
And there might be someone after us now. He mentioned someone called the Butcher.
The butcher?
Yeah. Doesn't sound good.
Like cutting meats? Say you're a cow person.
Someone called the Butcher could have cut Riggs in half.
And they were butched, I would say.
Yeah.
Ooh.
So, I don't know what to do now. What do you think?
Okay, were you spotted? We are spotted, but were you seen?
No. I snuck back and they didn't see me. They would have, I'd guess, said something.
Okay, because in hindsight, me sending you after who transpires actively wants to kill you was a very bad move as a friend.
Oh,
From
yeah.
an espionage perspective. Yeah, you were like alone in a garden with a guy who wants to kill you. I don't feel great
And
about
you were
that.
alone at the dinner table with a guy who wants to kill you, so I'm sorry for leaving you alone also.
No, that's fine. There were like 10 other people. Like, I just kind of freaked out when I saw him. What are we talking about? There's a man named the Butcher. Okay, so they're sending a man named the Butcher after us. But if we just act normal through the night, we can go to the city guard or something and tell them what we know. We just have to get through the party, right?
Someone did see me. I saw a pair of eyes from the tower inside the maze. They were like glowing when I spoke to one of the other servants. They said that there's rumors that this place is haunted.
Okay, so ghosts, I feel, aren't any of our business, but a butcher hiding in the attic, I do feel is our business.
If there is someone in the tower, I think they might have spotted me.
Ah.
I don't know who it could be though.
Okay, so you were seen following the prince, but that shouldn't mean anything, right? Like, unless this is a related party, if it's an irrelevant person just seeing you in the garden, that's not anything notable, right?
I guess, yeah, you did say I was going to hang out in the garden.
Yes, I announced it loudly, and you did that. So we're on track. We're on alibi. Perhaps you were a bit ahead of schedule, but by the way, Zach, we're kind of just standing in the middle of the
Reception.
lobby area, aren't we?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, that's gonna dawn on Faunalyn, and she's gonna glance around to see who's around, and I'm gonna pull Clay kind of around a pillar, or if I can kind of tuck us away a little bit for a more sequestered chat.
Okay, you want to actually like look around?
Yeah, probably should have done that at the beginning, but it's okay.
Give me a perception roll.
Not great. 11.
11.
Can I also roll?
Sure.
10.
We're not observant right now. We're kind of freaking out, huh?
No one spotted me, I swear.
You glance up. If you recall, this reception hall is 2 stories tall, and there is a balcony that wraps around the upper portion of the room. And you look around. The servants on the floor are carrying trays of crow, ceviche. They don't appear to be paying you much mind. They've got a job to do. They are very busy. You glance up at the balcony, and you see the Aarakocra butler, who's been identified to you as Tick. And he's not exactly looking at you, but he's kind of just standing there.
And what are his eyes like?
Closed.
Closed?
Mm-hmm.
Is he within, like, earshot of us?
I mean, it's a tall room, so he's probably 10, 15 feet off the ground and a decent way laterally away. He's not standing right above you.
Okay.
He doesn't appear to be trying to hide.
Okay, I'm gonna lower my voice anyway.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so we should probably avoid anyone with red eyes. Glimki ought to know what's going on, but I don't know. I'm worried that if we make a fuss right now, we'll be tipping our hand because we don't have the princess. We just know. Then again, if we have evidence as to who's killing all of your friends, perhaps we ought to go straight to the guards. But then again, we haven't any proof. I don't know, but I do think Glimki ought to be looped in.
I think so too. I think he must have caught on to something if he spoke to the prince's servant. So maybe I can go find him.
Okay, where's the prince? Zach, the prince hasn't come into the ballroom yet, has he?
He returned shortly before you were summoned.
Oh, he already came. He already went back.
Yeah.
Okay, I will go back into the room. I will keep an eye on the prince. And you go tell Glimki, please don't get murdered on the way. Maybe Glimki will have an idea of what to do. But for now, let's make it through this party, not get butchered, and then we'll figure out how to avoid being gruesomely murdered.
Okay. Once I've talked to Glimki, do you want me to come back? I can bring you like a bunch of tissues.
Okay, I'll try to start a nosebleed when no one's looking, just in case. And what are we going to do with these drugs? Oh, should we drug the prince? Oh my god, we should drug the prince. I don't know why, I just think we should.
What's the next course that's going to be served at the dinner?
Oh my god. Okay, no, hear me out, Clay. I don't know, it's probably more raw bird. Hear me out. I get the prince to do drugs with me. I only pretend to take them, and then we drag him back to Kazarin and Amala's shed, and then we interrogate him, because we're very good at interrogating people in that shed. And then we maybe break his legs, which I think was something we floated doing before with the rat and didn't end up doing.
This is a prince of a country. I feel like that could be risky. He seems pretty powerful. Should we go after the servant instead?
Oh. I don't care whose legs we break. Interesting. Okay, here's what we'll do. I'm going to go into the ballroom and act like everything is fine. You're going to go back to Glimki. Do not get murdered on the way. That is an order. You're going to tell Glimki what has transpired. You are going to pump the servants for details, specifically relating to this issue. I don't care if that involves torture. You have my blanket permission. Break as many legs as you need to. You, Clay, are going to be a floater. If it's efficient for you to stay with Glimki and break legs, and that's more important, do that. But if your talents aren't being used there, come back and make sure I don't get shanked in the spot.
Okay.
You have a plan?
Yes, go to Glimki, and then we will hunt down the servant and press him for answers.
Yes, and then you'll kind of like assess the situation as it goes and find out where you think will be most effective. Please don't get murdered. I really do like you. Please don't.
Oh, I hope you don't get murdered also. What are you gonna do though?
Dance with the prince, I think.
If he's onto us, he knows that we came as your people. So I think it's also dangerous for you.
If he's onto us, then I think the only thing I can do is have a meeting of the minds and lay some things out on the table. And luckily, my 5th dance slot is free. So,
Ooh.
We'll see. I might light some bridges today. Wyman's Folly, you remember? That and every other bridge in the city may be imitated. That's the name of the bridge, isn't it, Zach?
Yeah.
Isn't that crazy, ladies and gentlemen? Session 2 callback. Wow. Do I get advantage?
Yep.
Good.
All right, you jackanapes. What's the deal?
I guess I split off and go back to the servants' room.
I snag some ceviche from passing servant, which you specified is happening, and I shove it down my shirt for fallow later. And I go back into the room.
What about for me? I want to try some too.
That's a really good point. I double back and I grab like 4 to 5 crow ceviches and I just pad my bra with them. And I'm like up a cup size of crow.
What color does your dress become?
I'm thinking like I'm such a good friend. So whatever the color of like feeling good about yourself and your relationships with a little bit of holy shit, I'm going to get butchered. So it's like black tinged with like
Arrogance.
a salmony pink.
That's nice.
That's the color I imagine that crow ceviche is. black with salmon pink.
Yeah, me too. Incidentally, fear and friendship is what crow ceviche tastes like.
So, Faunalyn, you wander into the dining hall, dress stuffed with crow. And as you re-enter the room, you see everybody is seated. You see Earl Asfull of Crastix, who is seated next to you. He is like a dog looking at an owner who's fallen asleep with a piece of cheese. You've seen the videos. Aren't they funny? He's looking at your plate of crow ceviche much in the same way. And as he sees you re-enter the room, he adjusts himself and goes back to the topic at hand, the conversation that is taking place. And Count Bozic, who you haven't really heard say much of anything, is talking. And you quickly get the sense he's a little drunk. And he says,
My friends, we are going to send many people. The ghost pirates, they've plagued the Anchor's Chain too long. We're putting together a mercenary team who can cleanse the island. Paladins, clerics, no more ghost pirates.
and Larastra Gamanche, who's next to him, says, Yes, that's very good, dear. It's very exciting that we're going to purge the Anchor's Chain of the twice-damned seven, but perhaps something a little less dour for dinner. And you take your seat.
Okay, first I'm gonna take a glance at Elling Malforth. How does he look?
Fine. He's eating his crow ceviche.
Who was ogling my ceviche?
As full of crastix.
I'm going to sit down and turn to the Earl and say, Forgive me, I've quite lost my appetite. I realized ceviche doesn't agree with me. Would you care for my serving?
That is the nicest thing anyone's ever said to me. Thank you so much.
I'm very nice. Of course.
Wow.
It's protein heavy and you have many muscles, as I can see through your severed shirts.
Yeah, cilantro said not to because it would ruin the look, but I think it's better this way.
Yes, I agree. Now tell me, what did I miss while I was in the powder room?
Well, the bugbear's talking about purging the Anchor's Chain of some ghosts, and for a little while we were talking about the princess, because that's kind of like the thing on everyone's mind. And that's about it. I don't know. We gone long?
Was I gone long? No, just as long as it takes to powder one's nose in the powder room, which is what I was doing. I was in the powder room powdering my nose.
Yeah.
Yes, just girly things.
Girly things.
You know.
I do. I'm an ally.
Hell yeah. Good. Strong muscles, soft heart. Malforth is across from me, yeah?
No, he is almost completely opposite end of the table from you. He is about as far as you can be.
Okay, well, not going to be easy to ask him for a dance then, is it? I'm 4, so I'm right next to Xerxes. I'm going to turn to Xerxes. I'm going to thank the Lord Asfull of Crastix. Thank you, Lord Asfull. And turn to Xerxes and say, So, Xerxes, what do you know of the butcher?
Are you referring to whoever prepared this delicious crow ceviche?
No, I'm referring to the rumored assassin that haunts the city. You haven't heard of him?
I'm afraid I do not trouble myself with such ugliness.
Insight check. That's a 4 plus a 6 is a 10. I'm so insightful. But you gave me advantage. I'm using it.
Sure.
It's another 4. That's what you get for being a bully, ladies and gentlemen. Bullying never pays. That's a 10 twice over.
You look for telltale signs, a widening of the eyes, a sudden spike in anxiety. There doesn't seem to be anything of that sort.
Okay. Then I'm going to say it a bit louder. I keep hearing the most malicious and devious rumors about a grisly murderer called the Butcher. Someone has got to enlighten me. What has everyone else heard? And I'm like watching Malforth.
Give me another insight roll.
That would be a 23.
He is subtle. He is composed. No one but you would have seen his nostrils flare as you say this. But there is no overt reaction. It clearly triggers something in him. He clearly clocks those words, but does not react overtly.
And does anyone take the bait, what I've tossed out?
I'm going to say there's a chorus of various people saying, no, of course not. Whatever are you talking about? And I think based off the response, you are left with two conclusions that might be drawn. The first is that this group is more squeaky clean than you might have thought, and they don't trouble themselves with assassins as much as they trouble themselves with courtroom gossip. And I think the other is that perhaps Butcher is with a lowercase b and not a proper title.
This won't do. Somebody's got to have a ghost story for me. There must be some, devious figure rumored to be lurking about the city. Well, I'll swap gladly Ulithor Thyad's exciting, cryptid figure stories. But someone's got to enlighten me.
Pilton speaks up.
Oh, boy.
It's funny you should mention ghosts of the Elven Forest, for I had recently heard you were taken ill and unable to travel. And yet here you are, amongst us. A ghost, perhaps.
Not at all a ghost, Lord Pilton, despite best efforts. I'm here and I'm here to stay. You'll notice I'm not traveling, and that's because I'm not going anywhere.
There is a awkward silence that follows, and then Asphul breaks it and says,
Now, I heard that this isn't about ghosts, because ghosts aren't real, and I know that, but I did hear about a ghost of a prince who... Has anyone seen Bertram Vestergaard? Because I heard he was in town, and he hasn't hit me up. And I don't know. It's kind of rude. And there's more of a general murmuring, some agreeance that other people had heard that Bertram Vestergaard had been seen in the city. Perhaps the prince is the one who stole our beloved princess. He is not to be found, and neither is she. It is only one single step from A to B.
That was incomprehensibly Italian.
And there's a murmuring amongst the crowd about the potential that perhaps this Bertram Vestergaard was the one who disappeared the princess. Have you given away all your crow ceviche?
On my plate? Yes.
Okay, so you are not eating any at this time.
I have not pulled any out of my brassiere.
Okay. Just checking.
Was there something fucky betwixt my crow?
I'll tell you right now, there's something fucky betwixt everyone's crow, because it's crow that is cooked with citrus, and anyone who eats it has to make a Constitution saving throw. So,
Ooh.
Your crow is no more betwixt than anyone else's.
Well, it's betwixt my boobies, and I cannot imagine that lowers the DC.
Only one way to find out. And as the conversation continues, the din of dinner continues, people continue to consume their crow ceviche with gusto. I would say maybe make like one last insight check for me, just amongst the din of this dinner party.
Natural one! That's a 7.
And we cut to the good Clay Campbell, who has returned to the servants' lounge.
Is Glimki in here?
Glimki, where are you?
What kind of happened when after that guy walked off? What's that kind of scene look like?
The mood's not dead. The party isn't ruined, but 2 of the card players have left since your arrival, and Colston hates your guts. So the vibes aren't great, I'll be honest. There is like a woman who's kind of chill, and there's John Arbuckle, who's a real goober, and then there's Colston and yourself. So things have been better.
Oh, what did I said something? Like I think at the end of it, I was like, that guy snubbed me, right? Like that guy ripped me off. Because I won. Okay. Well, Glimki, looks around the circle, kind of taking in the fact that everyone's kind of in a sour mood now after I tried to switch up the games. Yeah, I guess I'll just apologize. Like, hey, sorry, gang, I didn't realize he would react that way. I swear that I had seen him somewhere before, but unfortunately he was not really willing to answer. So if you want to go back to your regular game, I'll see myself out.
Oh, geez, fella, you don't have to feel bad. It's like Garfield when he doesn't get his lasagna. He gets a little grumpy, and sometimes you can't predict that. So, hey,
Yeah.
it's all right. No hard feelings. I thought your game was... Well, I thought it was worse than regular game that we were playing, but it was different at least. You tried something, and there's nothing to be ashamed of when you try something.
Yeah, there's a great lesson in there somewhere about trying stuff for the sake of trying, so
Yeah,
I'm glad we tried.
and as am I. I'm not!
Okay. Sorry, I'll leave. See you, John.
See ya, fella. And you wander off. Where are you going?
I guess I'll head back.
Sure.
But now my step is definitely, after I've stepped away from the circle, Glimki's heart is racing. And all these ideas are running through his mind, like, I gotta get Clay, and I gotta get Faunalyn, I gotta get the hell out of here. Because we're in, like, the wolf pack right now. We're, like, surrounded by killers.
Yeah. So, back to the staff lounge?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay.
Yeah, see if Clay's there.
So, you let yourself back into the mansion and retrace your steps through the servants' wing. There's still a bustle going on in the kitchen area. You smell something baked, perhaps. Smell of roses. You're a florist by, maybe not by, well, I guess by trade at this point. Yeah. I guess you are a florist by trade, a gardener by trade. So you smell roses, and you continue on back up the stairs until you get to the lounge. And it's more or less the same as how you remember it. A few new faces. There's a small blue a small blue kobold, and a heavily tattooed woman, and of course, Clay Campbell.
I got back first.
Yes.
Okay.
Glimki storms across the room, shielding his face from the other guests, like a little bit. You're never gonna guess what the hell's going on.
They're onto us.
I'm onto them.
Lady Faunalyn called me into the ballroom, and I spoke with the Prince Elling Balforth, and he tried to offer me a job, and he was acting kind of suspicious. So I followed him, and he met up with his servant, and they explicitly mentioned sending out someone to kill me. And I think they're the ones who killed my friends.
Okay, well, I think maybe this might be a little bit my fault, because I was just playing a card game with that servant.
Did you learn anything from them?
I pushed my luck a little too far. I recognized his voice from that Kenku recording, and I couldn't help myself. I asked him where he was on that night, and I mean, it was hard to get a read, but it definitely set him off. So, like you said, they know we're here, and we know who they might be. I don't know.
So they also kidnapped the princess? They killed my friends and kidnapped the princess?
It seems that way. They're tying up loose ends. And I think we just frayed the knot here.
What do we do? They're sending someone after us.
I don't know. I guess we should have been speaking more in hushed tones, but...
Yeah, stage whisper. It's fine.
We pulled to the side and like...
Back to the side again. Okay, so where's Faunalyn now? Is it dinner time yet? When can we leave?
I think she went back. I already told Faunalyn all this after I followed the prince. They didn't spot me, but I told her all this, and she went back into the ballroom. She said we should try to act normal for now.
Okay.
But we should definitely find Prince Elling's servant.
Oh.
Yeah.
Mingdagus?
You talked to him, right? Do you know where he went?
No.
Well, I guess he went to tell the prince. I didn't see where they went afterwards.
Okay, well, I'm not sure where they would be now. You didn't see him in the ballroom?
Did I? Do I know where the servant went afterwards?
No, you hung back in the maze a little bit to avoid getting spotted, and by the time you got out, they had moved on.
He's not in here, is he?
He's not in this room, right?
What's this I hear?
There's like a balcony in this room too.
I will say, as you begin to look around, you hear a psst, psst.
Who is it? I turn to look.
Is it Johnny?
It's not. It's Jimmy.
Oh, Jimmy Navo. Johnny Navo.
You look over, and just kind of poking his head out from under a couch, you see the familiar rat shape of Jimmy Gnawbones.
What did you learn, Jimmy?
He scurries out the door of the servants' lounge.
Can we just go after him?
Is anyone watching the servants?
No.
Like, we're supposed to stay in this room, but nobody's watching?
You're not supposed to be snooping around the mansion, but clearly, like, some people went outside to play cards, and there's a certain expectation that you will go assist the guests as needed, so I don't think...
Okay, so I open the door ajar, and I go, oh, what's that? Oh, yes, for Faunalyn? Right this way, I'm coming.
I just follow you.
Jimmy scurries around a corner down a hallway, and then you watch as he morphs from this rat shape into this wiry, naked man. And
nice.
He says, "Hey, I'm walking here. I'm Jimmy Gnawbones. Hey, you guys."
Well, Jimmy, did you find anything?
What happened to you?
Yeah, where did you go?
Well, that's a story and a half, I'll tell you.
Oh, you gotta be real careful. I saw an actual owlbear in the ballroom.
Oh, jeez.
I heard,
all right.
Didn't you say those things eat rats?
Yeah, they'll gobble you straight down out the gullet. Yeah, okay. Thanks for the heads up. You're not so bad. I know we started off on maybe a shaky foot, but you've grown on me.
Yeah, but where'd you go?
What would you say if I wasn't completely honest with you?
I would say that, yeah, that's not surprising.
Okay, good. So everything's good then. Okay, perfect. Listen, there's a lot of shady shit that goes on here.
No kidding.
But nobody seems to know exactly what. And Pralme's kind of an unprecedented ascension in the city over the last 10 years. Doesn't seem to be a blackmail thing. Doesn't seem to be a brute force thing, hostile takeover thing. They've kind of just had a steady rise. And yeah, I was sent here to get a little bit of noble gossip. But more so, Brutus wanted me to see if I could figure out kind of the key to their success. And he says, don't look at this next part. And he reaches behind him and he pulls out a golden key that appears to be adorned with thorns or spikes.
Wait, did he transform into a man again and he's naked?
He is a naked man, yes.
Oh, just so he could pull out the key. Okay, wait, sorry.
No, it's okay to question that detail. That is
I feel like I'm focusing on the wrong part, but okay. Where did you get that? What is it?
Okay, so I did a little snooping. I found an office. I think maybe it's the Lord's office. Don't really know, but I'm pretty sure it's his. Anyways, found this in a secret compartment in his desk. Bing, bang, boom, I went sniffing around outside, went to the mausoleum, found a spooky statue, put the key on it's like holding some scales. I put the key on the scales. It opened up. You hear?
Wow.
Led down a spooky set of stairs. I'm feeling like, oh, I'm going to have something good to tell Brutus. I'm going to get some snacks tonight, if you know what I mean. And it leads to this room with a big old chasm through it. And like, it looks bottomless, frankly. And I'm not trying to get myself killed. So I'm wondering, maybe you do me a favor. You give me a little toss when I'm a rat. I get to the bottom of this. Bing, bang, boom. Everybody's a winner. What are friends for?
So you want us to throw you into the chasm? Does it?
No, over the chasm. There's like a door on the other side, but it's like 15 feet across, and I'm not trying to die today.
Fair.
What's in it for us?
Well, hold on. Don't we have other important things to deal with right now?
Oh, more important than helping you. Okay, now hold up here for a second. First off, more important things to do than help your dear friend Jimmy Gnawbones.
Jimmy,
that's messed up.
To be fair, I don't think you're fully up to speed on what we're dealing with, to be honest. You found a hole in the ground. Congratulations. I just figured out that perhaps we know exactly who kidnapped the princess and is out to murder us. We shouldn't be here at all.
No, but I want to know how the Pralmes are involved, because they definitely are involved with the kidnapping the princess as well. And I pull out my owlbear ring and drawings again.
You've got the drawings on hand.
I carry them with me always.
Sure. You reach into the pocket of your very nice servant's attire and pull out these sketches. Yeah. Okay, now the second thing is, what can I do for you? Okay, how about I tell you what I find?
Tell me now, like, what did you see in his office? Like, what secret compartment did you find this key in? And how did you know, like, which statue to stick it in? What do you know?
Hey, this is what I do. I find dirt. If there's one thing rats know how to do, it's dig up dirt.
Okay. How about you dig up some dirt for us first, and then we toss you over the chasm?
Oh, good lord.
We just found out that the prince, Elling Malfirth, might be involved in the kidnapping of the princess as well. And his servant, we don't know where he is right now. We're trying to find him.
How much, like, we're clearly not going to get Faunalyn to leave this party early. How much time do we have until the last course? Or dessert? What do we think
She mentioned
fan?
she's going to try to dance with the prince during the dancing portion.
Dancing hasn't even started. How long is it going to take
Not
for us
yet.
to throw you across this chasm?
I don't know. How long does it take you to pick up a ball and throw it across a chasm?
I'll give you 10 minutes total.
Okay, deal.
How are you
going
going
to
to get back across to tell us what you discovered?
I'll throw a rope across.
You throw a rope across.
Maybe, Clay,
Do you have a rope?
I need you to... I think what should be really important is, Clay, if you stick to Faunalyn like glue, we don't
Okay.
know when or who or what they're going to do throughout this dinner party, if they'd even act now. But at least then you two will be together. Me and Jimmy, they'll never expect us to go in their chasm. So...
Okay, but just remember that servant is still out there, and we need to find him and question him because they're also onto you.
I don't think he's going to be asking any more questions. I think the next time they see me, it's on site. So it's probably best that you're not around me when they do.
But okay, are you sure you'll be okay?
Me and Jimmy will be good.
Yeah, Jimmy Knobbones. I'm never going to die.
Exactly.
Okay.
See? He's never going to die.
I'm going to live forever. I'm Jimmy Knobbones.
And me by proxy.
As he's screaming this, you hear tip, 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 tip. And he says, oh shit. And he quickly tucks the key behind him. And you hear the sound of crunching, compressing bones. And he turns into a rat and he crawls up your pant leg, Clay. And a second later...
Mine?
Yes.
No, you need to be up my pant leg.
And a second later, the Aarakocra butler Tick walks around the corner and says, can I help you?
Oh, I was on my way back to find Lady Faunalyn. I think she wants me to stick around her, and I just kind of got lost. Can you show me the way back to the ballroom or the dining room?
Of course. And he kind of looks at the two of you suspiciously, glances at a nearby door that you were standing by, and then he leads you away. And as you're walking, you feel Jimmy slide out of your pant leg, and he runs back to
Okay.
you, Glimki.
Perfect.
Clay, you are brought to the dining hall. You see the owlbear has finally settled down. It's curled up in the corner, and dessert has been served. It is a rose pudding with strong taste of rose, with hints of ginger and cinnamon, and it is delightful. It's It's got a nice little bit of spice, a little bit of sugar. Oh, it is a delight. The perfect thing after consuming so much crow ceviche. Yes. Bip bap, my friends. You have done an amazing job as usual. Yes. And we will return to Glimki and Jimmy.
Okay, where am I going, Jimmy?
He quickly turns back into like his half man, half rat form, which, if you recall, is a rat body with a human head. And he says, so you're going to follow me. I'm going to turn to a rat. Follow me. We're going outside. We're going to the eastern part of the grounds. There's a mausoleum. Follow me.
Okay, I'm just going to put you under my hood and you can just Rakakuni me.
Love that play. And you go outside and he pulls on your hair a little bit too much. You definitely feel some clumps of leaves come out. And you walk outside onto that terrace that wraps around the manor and down this set of stairs. And you see this austere stone structure just nestled off amongst the trees of the estate. You follow Jimmy or follow Jimmy's instructions. And you enter. It's got this heavy stone door that you push open. It slides open slowly. And you find yourself in a dark place. Physically, not emotionally.
A little bit of both. What do I see in this dark place?
You look around and you see about 24 stone coffins just sort of lining either side of the chamber. And at the far side, you see a statue. It appears to depict a woman with almost these angelic wings that sort of cover her face. They wrap around and obscure her face. Would you like to make a religion check for me?
11.
11 is just enough for you to recognize that the angel's wings are not the feathered wings of a bird, but they're more akin to that of a moth. And you assume that this is probably a depiction of Marwul, the goddess of death and the grave.
Oh.
And you see that the statue is holding out a scale, and you see that the two sides are off balanced. And Jimmy once again turns into his human form, pulls out this key from a place you don't want to think too closely about, and places it on the elevated part of the scale. And you watch as the two halves balance out, and the statue slides away, revealing a set of stone stairs leading down beneath the mausoleum.
Sweet. Can I use my divine sense? As we approach.
Cool.
Oh, it's only 60 feet though, so should I? Maybe I should wait. Okay, let's go down a little bit.
Okay. You walk past these rows of coffins and descend down the stairs, and Jimmy turns back into a rat, leaving the key on the scale so that the door stays open, and just scurries down these stone stairs.
Oh my god, I just realized. Do I not have any of my weapons?
You have a walking stick that's pretty hefty.
And I have no armor.
And no armor.
Wow, okay. That's really good to know. Okay, let's keep going.
The air rapidly cools as you descend, and before long, the staircase opens up into what appears to be a natural stone cavern. There's no light, but with your dark vision, you can see on the opposite end of this chamber, there is a doorway carved into the opposite stone wall. But before that is a massive chasm, at least 15 feet across. And you kind of inch closer, you hear the sound of wind blowing through it, and you look down and it's at least 60 feet. You can't see the bottom.
Damn. Do I have any of my, adventure gear or none?
You've got some servant's clothes, a walking stick.
Is there any, in this room, is there anything I can see that might be useful? Is there any furniture, debris, garbage?
It is more or less a empty room. I mean, it is just a natural stone cavern. It does not appear to be furnished with anything. You see that there is a extinguished torch mounted to the wall next to you, which you could probably rip off if you wanted or remove if you wanted, but otherwise it is scant, scarce even.
Okay, well, so that's where we're going. Hey, Jimmy?
His head morphs into his human shape. He says, are we going? Because last I heard, you were just going to throw me away like yesterday's garbage, but if we're going, then, I'm down to have the company.
Well, okay, right. I don't know how I'm going to get across. 15 feet's pretty big. But I can definitely throw you first, and then you can investigate that door.
All right. I mean, I'm happy for you to join me. I'm not scared of nothing, but, it's pretty spooky.
Hey, Jimmy, again, I'd love to. But like you have mentioned, big hole in the ground.
Right.
Any loose rocks or anything?
Doesn't appear to be. It's
Damn it.
pretty tidy.
What the hell?
For what it's worth.
Okay. All right. You ready, Jimmy?
His head shrinks back down into that of a rat's, and he sticks up a little rat paw with a thumbs up and crawls into your hand.
Nice. And I throw him across.
Give me an athletics check.
I got a 21.
He goes sailing through the air, lands on the opposite side, does a little somersault, lands on his hindquarters, salutes the judges, salutes you, and turns into a human.
I hold up an invisible scorecard.
He stands up in his human form and says, "Thanks, pal. If this is the last time I be seeing you, then it's been a slice.
Nice.
Last chance. You could run and jump. Like, you're strong, right?
How far can I actually jump?
What's your strength?
+2.
So 14?
Yeah.
You can jump a number of feet equal to your strength score if you move at least 10 feet on foot immediately before the jump. You eyeball it to be about 15 feet. So
I won't make it.
You might be able to snatch at it. It would definitely take an athletics roll.
Oh, man.
If you come up short, it could be
good
bad.
One.
You just rolled a good one, to be fair.
Yeah, right.
But you look at it and you're like,
Jimmy, take a look at the door. Give me a little bit of insight. See how much it's worth me risking a jump.
What does that mean? Like, go investigate?
Yeah.
Okay.
Go look at the door, my man.
He pushes on the door and it slides open.
Damn.
Oh, did you mean like check it for traps or something?
No, you're good. So far, so good. You haven't been impaled, darted, squished, or otherwise yet.
He looks, like, spins in a circle. He looks at his naked body. You get the full view, and yeah, nothing.
Okay.
You see a little flash of gold sticking out between his butt cheeks, but besides that.
Okay. I have an idea.
Okay.
I'm gonna use... Oh, no, I can't. I can't. Because it needs to be... I need to strike with a weapon. Dang it. I have a spell that would help me, but it's on an attack. Shoot. Never mind. I don't have an idea. Go look in the room and give me a status report.
He wanders through. How long do you wait?
Said I'd give him 10 minutes, so give him 5.
Okay.
Who has the magic rope right now?
I'd say you probably left that at the manor.
Ah, dang it.
It's kind of a clunky thing to bring to a ball.
Wow, we are naked. There's nothing.
Naked and afraid, even?
Mm-hmm.
He comes back. I'd say about 6 minutes later, just as you're starting to think about leaving.
Mm-hmm.
And you hear the scrambling of footsteps on stone. And he shouts at you from across the chasm. He says, It's like a maze down there. But I think it's more bodies. I found like more, it's like a crypt.
Mm.
Yeah, it's really repetitive. It's honestly kind of impressive I made it back. I thought I was going to get turned around down there, but I found one and it had 3 bodies, three, I don't know, coffins, whatever you want to call it. And there was an engraving.
Mm-hmm.
It said for the persuasion of Clementine Royce. You know what that means?
The persuasion of Clementine Royce?
Yeah.
Does that strike Glimki with anything?
No?
I don't know what that means, Jimmy.
Yeah, me neither. I don't like this.
It was 3 coffins?
Yeah, like like when they're embedded in the wall, except it was like a pillar.
Oh.
You know the type, right? You just see the stone outline sort of thing.
Yes.
They had names on them, but...
So there's just a bunch of bunch of coffins and stuff down there?
Yeah, they weren't prailmies, though. The ones upstairs, I don't know if you saw, they were prailmies, each and every one of them. But...
Oh, so you're saying those ones are all built upon crypts of a different family?
They don't have the same name. There was Ackley Birch and Morven Winthrop. They don't sound like relatives to me.
What the hell? This place is built on a foundation of lies. What could that mean? When would they have taken over the estate, maybe?
Maybe.
How old is this Prailme family?
To my understanding, they've been around for a while, but like I said, I mean, they were, up until 10 years ago, they were a pretty minor family.
Huh.
I was looking around, I found a hall of portraits, and it goes back quite a few generations.
All Royce? Royce? Winthrop?
It said for the persuasion of Clementine Royce. On, like, above all 3 of the I'm going to call them coffins. I don't really know what else to call them, right? The coffins. And then each of the coffins had a different name. It was Morven Winthrop, Ackley Birch, and Isolde Relay.
What is going on? That's it? It's just a bunch of crypts. Nothing else down there.
I mean, that's what I saw. I didn't want to be gone too long. I thought you might ditch me. You said I had 10 minutes, so...
You think there's more to see?
I mean, there's something weird going on, but, this isn't your job, so I'm happy to... We can part ways here. If you can... I don't even know. Is that stick sharp?
Not really. Jimmy, how are you going to get out of here?
I don't know. Maybe I'll loot a couple coffins, see if any of them were buried with their family rope or something.
Ah, jeez. How about you turn into a human form and you stretch your arm out a little bit?
All right. He stretches. He's tall. He's probably around 6 feet tall in human form.
Can I, just out of curiosity, can I see any roots coming through any of the stones in the ceiling? Is there any, plant life breaking through any of the barriers into this crypt? Or is it, solid?
Give me a perception roll with disadvantage.
Okay. 16 and an 18. So 16.
I'll say with a 16, you look around and you see a small little tip of a root poking out from near the corner of this room. And you remember that this mausoleum was surrounded by trees.
Mm-hmm.
It seems like this part is not directly underneath the mausoleum. It didn't wrap around. The stairs didn't wrap around. They went in one direction. So you're probably under some amount of tree, and it seems like there is a single root just barely poking through.
Good enough for Glimki. Glimki's going to walk over to the root.
Okay.
And, touch it.
Okay.
And then he's going to close his eyes and try to send a prayer through the root to Malari. Glimki closes his eyes. His fingers touch the root. He feels grounded in his legs, and he prays to Malari to grant him a little bit of strength and to guide his steps in the darkness and to soften his fall if he were to not make the distance. And then he's going to open his eyes, and sprint across and jump across the chasm.
Amazing. Give me an athletics check.
Oh, God. Ooh, that's not good. Does the prayer help me at all?
We'll see.
Okay, I got a 6.
You back up the stairs, go full Olympic, arms pumping, sprinting as fast as you can, jump off the ledge, and you immediately know you are not going to clear this gap.
Shit.
You close your eyes, ready to fall to perhaps your death, and go tumbling to the floor. You open your eyes, and you see that you are suspended in air. You touch around you, and what appeared to be a chasm is actually solid ground.
Oh.
And as the illusion fades, you see that this is just a solid stone floor.
Oh my God. Jimmy.
Well, that makes me get home
Jimmy.
easier.
Oh my God, Jimmy. Okay, let's go dig around. Walk in front of me.
Holding Jimmy out in rat form like a riot shield, you begin to explore this crypt. And we will cut upstairs to Faunalyn Vaydark in the dining hall as dinner concludes. Dessert is served, of course, as I said. It is taken away. As a noble woman, you know that candied fruit and cheese often is the final course after dessert. So you have some spiced almonds and candied pecans, and a beautiful Gouda. And before too long, the Aarakocra butler, Tick, walks into the room and says, "Ladies and gentlemen, the reception hall has been prepared for the final portion of our evening. Dancing, of course. I encourage you all, if you have not finished filling out your dance cards, to do so, and to join us in the reception hall for revelry, music, and dancing." And as he's finishing his delivery, he suddenly stands up straight. Like a "that's so Raven" moment. He just goes fully erect and then shakes his head and says, "Excuse me," and departs.
Yo, this man's been necromancied.
Is that what that means?
I don't know. What if he's like a flesh puppet?
Are we getting Weekend at the Bernie?
We might be getting Weekend at the Bernied. This place reeks of Bernied.
Is Tick the one that led Clay back into the dining hall?
Yeah, he's the one who's been around. And the one who had his eyes closed when he was listening to us.
So is Clay there now too?
Yep.
Spooky.
What's going on with this place? Everything's a mystery.
There's like plots within plots, plans within plans, some Bene Gesserit content. I am going to beeline to Prince Malfirth, and I'm going to close my fan and like use the point of my fan to stop wherever he was walking and say, I insist that you share the fifth dance with me.
Give me a persuasion roll.
And that's a 17.
But of course. My lady, it would be quite the honor to share a dance with you upon this evening.
I don't need to hear your niceties. I don't need to hear them from someone who's planning to send a butcher after me. I will see you on the dance floor. And I walk away.
Okay.
I had to. He upped me last time and I didn't like it. I had to up him back, okay? It was cathartic. It needed to happen.
Oh my god, she's about to pop off.
I have no plan. I'm flying by the seat of my fancy dress.
Now, real quick, do you have a specific order that you care for with your 5 dance partners?
I want them to occur in the exact order that I established them.
Okay. So as you depart the dining hall, you feel a nudge behind you as the owlbear Gus pushes past you.
Ooh.
And it comes up well past your hip, like almost to your shoulder. It is huge. And it pushes past you. It's got this collar on. And the sound of music fills the air from the reception hall from where you first began this party. Lady Bakra Prelmi finds you, wearing, of course, this emerald green gown. And you see she's got a signet ring on her finger, one that matches the ring that Clay Campbell carries with them. And she says, there you are, Lady Vaydark. How wonderful to find you. Shall we dance?
Yes, I've been looking very much forward to it. To the floor, then.
And the dancing begins. Could I get a performance roll from you as you begin your first dance of the evening?
Natural 20.
Oh shit.
Sheesh.
I've got the moves tonight.
Faunalyn's past dancing lessons kick into effect, and you quickly take charge. I'd say with you rolling a 20, you are in the driver's seat. And you are welcome to steer the dancing as well as the conversation in whatever direction you desire.
Okay. I'm curious about this Todara thing, and I'm curious about their involvement. Why? Okay, so the thing about the owlbear with the princess's kidnapping was that there was the ring of the person you handed it off to had an owlbear on it, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think Riggs slipped it off the person he got hired by to do the kidnapping. And then he gave it to Clay.
That's crazy.
Yeah, someone handed off the package directly to Riggs. And then afterwards, when Clay questioned him, he gave her the ring.
Okay. So there's another thing is they have a high staff turnover. Do we think they like blood ritual sacrifice their staff or something like that?
Are they feeding staff to the owlbears as well as the horses?
I'm thinking, what if they like possess their staff and it burns through their bodies or something like that?
Are they feeding staff to you right now?
Oh! Ugh.
The crow ceviche is actually Aracroca
Yeah, it's
ceviche.
Kenku ceviche.
Oof.
I guess I want to ask about Orsa Todara. I have Blackleaf to offer.
Wait, I thought it was the brother that was the drug addict.
It is, yeah, but I'm not dancing with him.
Oh.
I don't think I'll bring up the drugs. So I'll probably ask about try to find a way to ask about the
staff.
the ring on the disappearance and the staff turnover.
Maybe also about the haunted stuff going on in their maze.
I don't think Faunalyn knows a lot about that, though.
I guess. Yeah, I'm just curious. Prima is curious.
I know, me too. But I think Faunalyn's only heard it be called a haunted maze, so I think that's not like...
Yeah, that's fair.
Although, hey, now, there's like there's legit some like necromancer shit going on.
Yeah, what the
There's
hell?
some creepy shit going on.
What is going on?
I feel like they wouldn't tell you straight up, but like how they came, because like Jimmy's here to investigate how they got successful so quickly. Maybe you could also.
Yeah, pull on the ego, maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Be like, you must have a super proud heritage. How did you get?
Mm-hmm.
That's a really good point. Okay. So, I'm leading the dance.
You are.
Lady Backer, I must tell you, this is such a delightful soiree. I can't recall the last time I had such a delightful time at a party. You know, such mixed company also. There's really just such a fun crowd.
You look around the room and see truly, just a cacophony of people, tabaxis and Goliaths and halflings, all manner of people. And she says, yes, well, it was the least we could do in such trying times. It's a delight to be able to put on such an event and raise the spirits of everyone in the city.
Yes, and I can speak for myself. My spirits have certainly been raised. It feel rather a treat to have the gravitas and the resources to host such a fine event, because from what I understand, your family is somewhat new to society.
My father has done an excellent job in governing our direction since the passing of my grandmother.
What a vague and cryptic statement. Well, cheers to Lord Prailme.
Cheers.
I am terribly sorry, however, for the death of your grandmother.
Yes, it was a great loss for all of us. My father felt it most acutely, but one can do little but continue on. Perhaps you have not experienced such loss in your lengthened lifespan. I pray that you do not for some time to come.
Oh, that is very kind, but I assure you, the longer the life, the more days that may be filled with sorrow. I do wonder, rather, your staff, they seem quite polished for a new crew.
Was there a question in there?
No, just a remark and a compliment. I wondered if you might have some staff rearing tips for me, because, you know, I've got a new staff, and everyone keeps accusing me of menage-a-troiing with them every time I bring them to the tailor shop.
I have heard that, I must admit.
You can't go anywhere with two hot people these days without people accusing you of rat sex, throuple activity.
A smirk briefly crosses her lips. We run a tight ship. We ensure that we only hire the best and we only keep the best.
Ah, so you have a rigorous cutting process. Because I had heard that you have a reputation for having high turnover, but high quality. So would you say the turnover is what leads to the quality?
Stagnation leads to decay?
So there must be an army of former servants out there just resenting the Prailme name. Prematurely fired.
I wouldn't say prematurely. I believe everyone who has been dismissed from our service has been... They've earned it. No doubt.
Oh, I'm sure. You know, I always say that if you're not hated by at least 100 people, you're not living your life very excitingly.
I could see that being a sort of motto for you.
Yes, I am despicable. Now, you know it was despicable earlier. Prince Malfirth tried to steal one of my servants right in front of me. Very naughty of him.
Oh, how naughty.
I know. Is he prone to such behaviors, do you know? Are you close?
No, as I'm sure you know, he's not a resident of the city, merely a visitor.
Insight check.
Sure, give me an insight check.
Mother! That's my second natural one.
For a total of...
7.
With a 7. You get the sense she's telling the truth?
Yeah, I guess I do.
She seems mostly focused on... You're keeping up a pretty fast march of this dance. You are really driving things. She is keeping up. She's holding her own. But you are clearly leading and she's following. And I would say at this moment, maybe you try and throw in a twirl to throw her off balance. And she seems mostly taken with the dancing.
Badly timed twirl.
And seems more or less genuine, but it's hard to say.
All right. Well, I suppose he is new to the city. I know some people here have sort of a relationship or a business relationship with him. I was talking to my acquaintance, not friend, Orsa Todara the other day. Of course, I haven't heard from her in a little while, but I was speaking to her and... well, I shouldn't say. Let's move on to different topics.
The vibe immediately changes. Before she was more or less enjoying herself, you could see, or at least you got that sense. She goes pretty rigid at the mention of this name.
Uh-oh.
Yes. Let's.
Oh, I'm sorry. Have I stepped on your foot?
You just move so quickly, it's hard to keep up. And I'm going to say for the rest of the dance, she kind of just shuts you down.
Just had to say the name Orsa Todara to get her to clam up, eh? That failed insight check is going to haunt me, because I feel like that was the difference between this being a productive conversation and an unproductive conversation, and I'm upset about it.
The music continues. The band does a final flourish. And you separate and bow or curtsy, whatever is more in keeping with your sensibilities.
Oh, Faunalyn never lowers herself to anyone. Faunalyn gives a subtle nod and a flutter of the fan.
As you are like parting, she leans in close to you and says, "Do not speak that name again in my presence, nor my brother's." And she walks off.
Okay.
What's the deal with Orsa Todara?
We cut to Clay Campbell because Clay Campbell's kind of just in the cock chair. Clay, what are you doing? What's been going on? You're just keeping an eye on Faunalyn?
Yeah, I guess I'm just standing around keeping an eye on Faunalyn.
You should go scope out that bird guy.
Oh, Tick?
Yeah. I mean, we're already busting it wide open right now.
Yeah. What is Tick doing?
Give me a perception roll.
Ooh, 23, not 20.
Hell yeah.
He does not appear to be in the room.
But I want to stay in the room to watch. Does that perception roll tell me what everything else that's going on in the room?
Yeah, I'll say this is like a general surveillance check. You're keeping an eye on things. People are dancing. These 4 genasi are in the corner playing stringed instruments. Servants are clearing out the dining room. People are dancing around the owlbear Gus, trying to avoid any sort of incident.
Who's the prince dancing with?
He is currently dancing with the Marquioness Renpular, who is the halfling Italian.
Oh, that's fun.
I will say with a 23, you look over at Faunalyn. Most of your attention is probably on Faunalyn throughout this, making sure nothing happens. And you also notice this ring on Bap's finger, the one that matches the ring in your pocket. And you look over at her brother, who is currently dancing with, we'll say, him and Asful are having a very raucous laugh of a dance where they're kind of picking each other up and swinging each other around and just really just having a time. And you see Bip Prail me. There is no such ring on either of his hands.
Because I have it. And I didn't see who Briggs was talking to on the night that he gave me the ring. No.
They wore a hood. You saw a hilt of a sword. That's about it, though. They were definitely like trying to keep their appearance hidden.
Okay. So I noticed that he doesn't have the ring. I'm like holding on to it in my pocket like Bilbo Baggins does.
This first dance concludes. Prince Elling Malfirth bows to Lady Pular. He walks over to Bip, shakes his hand, kind of claps him on the shoulder. He walks over to Lady Bakra Prelme, gives her a polite kiss on either cheek, and then he walks out the front door.
Whoa.
Am I following him again? What's happening? I also wanted to do one thing if the first dance is over. Shannon, what does Faunalyn use for her skill checks in conversation? Like, what skill is that?
Usually insight to see what people are might be hiding from me.
Okay, because I have one skill that's called enhanced ability. So if you want, I can cast that on you if it helps.
Yes,
Ooh.
yes. I like that plan.
So I can call you over, and then it's touch. So there's it's basically like advantage on one type of skill check. So intelligence,
Nice.
wisdom, charisma, strength, or something. So which would you like?
Insight is a wisdom-based skill, so wisdom would be helpful.
Oh, that's on the nose. You get Owl's wisdom. Advantage on wisdom
Ooh.
checks for 1 hour while I concentrate on the spell.
How do you call me over?
I guess just like after you're done your dance, I'm just like trying to make eye contact with you and like jerk my head, like, come this way.
Yes, Clay.
Okay, so me and Glimki, we ran into Jimmy and he's investigating the Prelmies. So he went off to do that. We didn't find the servant, but I just saw the prince walk out the front door. So I think I'm going to go try to follow him now. But here, and then I cast the spell.
Ooh, I feel insightful.
Yeah,
You seem not nervous enough about going to follow a man who wants to kill you.
I'm running on adrenaline, ma'am, and, you know, just try to figure out as much as you can.
I'm running on adrenaline, ma'am. Okay, well, do not be caught. And do you have anything that can sort of give me a tissue, by the way?
Okay.
And I'm gonna dab at my nose while I use the tissue to hide my mouth as I say, do you have anything that you can use to disguise yourself or otherwise look less detectable?
No, not really. I don't think.
I'm proficient with a disguise kit.
But do you have it on
I don't
you?
think we have any of that stuff.
We have nothing.
Yeah, we don't really have anything.
Yeah, we should have snuck some stuff onto our bodies.
We should have discussed.
Yeah. Okay. DM,
That's me.
I have, surely, and this is reasonable, that I would have brought makeup to this party to touch myself up. What am I doing in the powder room?
Of course, a small amount.
Enough to rig a disguise kit? Nah, it wouldn't work. Okay. Do not be caught. And do not be murdered. Please.
Same to you.
I have crow ceviche for you if you manage to stay alive.
Okay.
And it will be cooked because I'm sweating a lot,
Oh.
which
Ew.
makes it less dangerous.
Yeah, you smell a little fishy.
Well, I'm being very suspicious right now. Take my cloak.
Your cloak?
Yes, you can. My cloak has a big hood. It's purple, but that's unexpected for you to be wearing. And better someone mistake you for me than mistake you for you. So you could pull up my hood.
Okay.
It's up to you, but just don't be caught.
All right, I'll do my best.
No, please, just don't. I really don't want you to.
Where is the cloak?
The cloak is with the Birdman. He took the cloak, so.
Okay, I'll do my best not to get caught.
Oh, Clay, I don't want you to die. You can't die before you taste crow ceviche. It's not good, but it is special. Don't make the crows die for nothing, Clay.
We can't die here. We're finally getting clues to this big mystery.
Yes, we can't die here. Okay, be stealthy. Okay. I don't like this plan, but go ahead. Be brave.
I like hold up my walking stick. It's my only weapon.
So as Clay begins to sneak off, trying to keep an eye on the prince, we're going to cut back down to Glimki in the crypt.
Mm-hmm. Okay, Jimmy. So you went that way already. We found those triple stacked coffins. Where do you want to go to next? Let's go a bit deeper. Let's see how far back this thing really goes.
Okay, sounds good. Maybe you should go first for a little while, just in the spirit of fairness.
Sure, she said. I guess we're taking turns. I tried to jump across a chasm and risk my life.
I'd try to get thrown across the chasm. What if you dropped me? I saw how you jumped.
That was easy.
I didn't know you were better at throwing.
Weight 2 pounds.
It's actually 3, but thank you.
Okay, I'll go first.
And you begin to wander around. You quickly realize that there is sort of a... You know in the Mines of Moria when the goblins close in and the camera pulls back and there's just column after column and just sprawls out?
Yeah.
It's... Imagine a much more claustrophobic version of that where there's all these connecting tunnels that all look more or less the same, and every so often they open up into a slightly larger area. And each of these has this large central pillar and an inscription.
Oh, okay. Each of the areas that opens up.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
So you walk through, into one of these chambers and you see a pillar and it says, "For the return of the heart of the mountains." And heart and mountains, those are capitalized. And you see that there are 3 of those embedded coffins.
For the return of the heart and the mountain?
Heart of the mountains.
Heart of the mountains. What the hell is going on down here? So do they all kind of follow this kind of titling?
More or less. Although, as you go further and further into this place, you start to find these pillars with more coffins. Many of them have 1 or 2 or 3. You find one that says, "For the untimely demise of Silas Ellsworth." And you count 10 coffins. You keep going, and you find one that says, "For the return of Florence Prailme." And there are 20. And as you are walking around, you think it's like chattering, and you look over at Jimmy as like, is he chattering his teeth? And he looks freaked out, but he's quiet. And you listen closer, and you hear from out in the darkness, somewhere behind you, you think from the direction you came, a clicking noise.
Ah, son of a bitch. Can I use my divine sense now?
You reach up into your hair and you feel the leaves and you open up your senses and open your eyes and nothing catches your attention.
Okay. Uh-oh.
And Jimmy says, "You hearing what I'm hearing?"
Unfortunately.
And it's just kind of like constantly in the background, every few seconds.
I think we should go, Jimmy.
Go where? Like,
Oh,
get out of here?
wait. Can I turn back around to this 20 crypt one?
Mm-hmm.
You said this one is for Florence Prailme. Is there a Prailme crypt anywhere? Or is it just other names?
You look around. There are 20 names. None of them are Prailme.
What is going on? For the return of... Like, I don't get it. Are they killing these people? Are these sacrifices? Kind of feels like sacrifices.
Kind of feels like sacrifices to me. But like, sacrifices to who? Or what?
Maybe whatever that thing that's going on.
Yeah, that could be it.
Jimmy, how far do you think you can throw me?
He, as a rat, like pushes on your shoe and you do not budge. And he says, how far you need me to throw you?
Oh, that's all I needed to know. And I grab... Is he human form or half rat form?
Yeah, I will say half rat at the moment.
Okay, I grab him by the scruff of his neck,
Okay.
where his humid head meets his back. I'm going to start sprinting.
You start to run. Jimmy in tow through these winding passages, and you think you're taking the same route. I want an athletics check from you as you try and outpace whatever is clicking.
Yes, sir, I got a 12.
You run down one of these passageways, and you suddenly hear to your right that same clicking noise. And I will say, as you start to run, as your footsteps slap against the stone, as these footsteps echo out into the darkness, the clicking seems to focus in on you.
Okay.
It seems to get closer. And at one point you run into a clearing and you look to the right. And just at the very edge of your dark vision, you see the Aarakocra tick.
What?
He has his eyes closed and his mouth open. And from deep in his throat, this...
What the fuck?
Give me a nature check. Nature or history. I will take either.
Did I get it in one again? That their servants are becoming zombies and ghosts?
Damn. Oh god, so bad. 6.
Mm-mm.
It's like echolocation or some shit.
You don't know what he's doing. But he kind of turns to look in your direction, and you don't stop.
Oh god.
And I assume you keep going?
Yeah. Yeah. As fast as my wee legs will take me.
I need a wisdom saving throw with advantage.
No problem. That's a 19.
What are you most afraid of?
Oh my god.
What is... Uh-oh. Probably never seeing his family again.
You sprint into an opening, and for a second, you look up at one of these pillars, and it says, "For the destruction of the Treefellow family." And you see a dozen or so of these coffins, one of which is open. But you blink real hard, and you open your eyes, and you see it doesn't say that. It actually says, "For the persuasion of Clementine Royce." And Jimmy speaks up and says, "All right, we're almost there. Let's go, let's go, let's go, let's go, let's go."
You got it, Jimmy.
And you resist whatever dark manifestation was trying to take root within your brain, sprinting up the stairs, through the chasm that is not there, and back up into the mausoleum.
I keep going.
Where is your end destination? Where are you trying to get to?
The carriages.
Sure. You keep running, and eventually you see the fire of the card game at the parkade area, the parking area.
Mm-hmm.
And we're going to cut back to Clay Campbell real quick.
Fuck.
Following Elling Malfirth into the night. Could I get a stealth roll, Clay? As you once again try and sneak out of this party to follow the Prince of Onos.
Okay, but at least I don't have disadvantage.
That is true. That's huge.
Not if I roll on that one, though.
No! No!
Wait, first... Oh, I guess I can't.
Shoot.
There's no, like, coat check area where I can grab Faunalyn's cloak before I sneak off. I wouldn't lose sight of them.
I think you have the choice, yeah. You can try and scrounge around for a cloak, but you might lose him. Or you can push straight out without whatever advantage a cloak may convey. And be sure you'll keep him in your eyes.
Yeah, I'm just following him.
All right.
But I rolled a 1, so...
You step out into the darkness. This drift globe illuminated terrace. The moons poking out through the clouds. And you see the prince. In the past, he went right out of the doors. This time he appears to go left. And he walks around the corner of the house, down a set of stairs into a path. You follow at a distance. You see to the left this squat stone structure. It's dark. But he turns right. And nearby you see firelight, and he rounds a corner and you hurry to follow after him. What is your dexterity?
Oh, +0.
You are punched in the stomach.
Oh. Oof.
The wind is knocked out of you.
Shit.
We'll say you take 1 point of damage. And you are grabbed by the front of your servant's garb. And as you're kind of doubled over, you are brought face to face with the prince. And he says, "It's not polite to follow your betters. Now why don't you go crawling back to that elf witch that brought you, and we'll be on our way."
Damn.
I saw you. You stick out like a sore thumb. You think you're covert? You think you're quiet? You think you're of use?
Whoa.
Enjoy the party. It will be your last. And he lets go, and he walks off to the carriages.
He's going to the carriages?
Pardon?
Can I try to keep following him?
You can.
Oh, God.
And as you do, you hear the sudden sound of scrambling, feet on the path behind you, and you turn around to see Glimki running with Jimmy Gnawbones tucked under his arm at a full sprint.
Okay, can I intercept them and pull them to the side, I guess? Where are they running towards the direction that the prince walked off in?
You look back and they are running from that stone structure you looked over and saw, and they are running directly towards you in the direction of the light that the prince walked towards.
You can hear like Glimki from a distance. Click, 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 click.
And then I pull you to the side.
We have to leave. We thought it was a band of murderers and vagrants and stuff. Well, they also, I think, are weird demon things as well living in the basement. So
What?
we shouldn't be here.
The Prailmies are demons?
I don't know. Prailme, a bird man. I don't know. They got crypts upon crypts of people's names. We were talking about employee turnover. I don't think they turned over at all. They're all just dead.
Oh my gosh, that prince is leaving the party right now. I've tried to follow him, but he caught me. He's going towards the carriages, and
Well, that's where I was heading right now, because we should leave. So we should make like the prince and split.
Faunalyn's still inside. Should we go get her?
Yeah, we should.
But where's the... He straight up said that this is,
Okay, I hold up Jimmy.
Oh, hey Jimmy.
Jimmy, follow the prince.
Oh, that's a good idea.
Give me a persuasion roll.
18.
Okay, and then what?
And then we meet up later.
Yeah.
Follow him as long as you can. If he finds a destination, just stay in hiding for as long as possible. And once that carriage finds its final destination, then you can sneak out. And we'll link up.
Yeah, you can report whatever dirt you find back to Brutus later, but we also need to know.
Whatever's about to happen, Jimmy, we can't let the prince get away without us knowing. And, I mean, who knows? We might go back in that house and get eaten for another course at dinner, so I don't know what we're about to do.
Yeah, you don't want to stick around here any longer.
Okay. Right out of here's as good as any. I'll see you around, okay?
Yeah.
On the other side, Jimmy.
He gives you a little rat salute and scurries off towards the carriages. A moment later, you hear a sort of feminine voice go, "Yeah!" And the sound of wheels on dirt as a carriage disappears off into the night.
Okay, Clay, well, I pray we're not too late. Whatever the hell's going on in this house, we gotta get out of here.
Okay, let's go grab Lady Faunalyn. We can, make our excuses and get out.
I don't think she's gonna go without a fight, so think of a good excuse.
The prince just left. We need to,
Oh yeah, and the demons in the basement, yeah.
Faunalyn, I'd say while this is all taking place, that's enough time for at least one dance, probably two. And next on the list is Lord Ulrin Rothbard. Ulrin approaches you and says, "Lady Vaydark, I hope you're all ready for our dance. The Lady Crawwin was expecting all 5 of my dances this evening, but between you and Lady Bakra, I'm afraid I am spread quite thin."
Well, I do appreciate that you've made time for me. I've been rather looking forward to our dance.
Shall we?
Yes, it's so kind of Lady Crawwin to spare her betrothed.
As I said before, we are not united in any way whatsoever, least of all betrothal. But, and the band starts playing, would be a fine match for anyone, I assure you.
Yes, she is lovely. Apologies, I had forgotten with the excitement of the ceviche. I find that it's quite wiped my mind clean.
My stomach is a-gurgling.
That's how you know that it's crow, because we're not really supposed to eat it.
If the stomach isn't a-go, then it wasn't crow.
No, that's what they say. That's what we say in Ulathorthayat. Of course, it takes us 8 minutes to say the same sentiments, but yes.
Lord Hilton mentioned something to the effect that you were taken ill recently. I hope you are well.
Oh, I'm very well, thank you. He might have been thinking of the last party we were at with Crow Ceviche. I assure you, I'm very well. Well enough to dance.
Then dance we shall. Give me a performance check.
That's my 3rd natural one of the night.
Oh my god, that's crazy.
For a total of?
I feel like when I see natural 1 on the dice, I feel like the total doesn't even matter.
Sometimes it does.
That's a 4.
He got a 6. He is a terrible dancer. And he is big, and he is confident. And it does not take long for him to step on your toes. Multiple times. And I'd like to think your dress slowly changes color from perhaps that still black salmon dinner glow to just a bright seething red as your feet are throbbing. And he says, "That is quite the dress you have there. It's very interesting."
Yes, it reflects my emotion, and I'm sure this color means delight.
Fascinating. I wish my clothes were to change color, for they would no doubt be red as well.
That's really funny. Have I made you bleed? I did rather stomp on your
No,
toes
I
a
meant to
moment
say
ago.
merely that I was also enjoying myself.
Oh, see, I was just laughing over the fact that I'm a bit flustered. I'm enjoying the dance so much, I feel I'm not putting in a career best performance.
Can you make a dexterity saving throw, please?
That's my 4th natural one of the
Can
night.
you use a different dice?
That's actually crazy. You need to throw those away.
Oh,
Retire
these are my
that
Faunalyn dice.
Retire them.
Jail to those dice.
Okay, I'll put them under the full moon.
Lady Crawin bumps into you hard. And she says, "Oh, I'm so sorry, dear." And she is spun off by Clotir Keldar.
Yeah, right.
Oh, she's clumsy like myself. That's hilarious. Is that how you got that bruise on your face?
Give me I'm going to call this a persuasion check.
I'm shaking it real good. Everybody can see. The dice is a rolling. That's... Oh, no. Persuasion is not one of the skills boosted by Clay. So that's an 11.
No, alas, as I mentioned before, acquired this slipping in the tub.
Oh, I thought you had said something about going to the Copper District. That's my mistake.
Mistake anyone could have made, but no, I assure you. Damaged my eye by trying to keep my feet clean, and one does not keep clean feet if they are trudging about in the Copper District.
No, you've got to keep those tootsies clean. So, you and Lady Crawin are quite close, but I hear you're rather close with Lord Bickford and Lady Bakra, as well as Lord Xerxes.
Indeed, they are my closest friends.
Yes, how did you all get so close?
Well, we grew up in similar circle, attending balls as the wards of our parents, and just formed a bond in time. We've known each other since we were quite young.
In it through thick and thin, then,
Of course, the thickest, and may it never be the thinnest.
Yes. Having each other's backs, yes, that's lovely. You know, actually, I heard something about your group of friends from Lady Orsa Todara, but I shouldn't repeat it. That's right, I'm trying the same gambit again on somebody different. And maybe it'll work this time.
Give me a deception roll.
Not good. Oh, but I have a +7. That's a 16.
Ah, I did not know you had met Orsa. I hope she's doing well. I've not seen her in quite some time, many months in fact. It was such a shame, you see. Her and Bip were quite close, and then one day she wrote him a letter informing him she did not wish to see him again and departed the city. Frankly, he is quite heartbroken, but...
That is so sad. Yes, I've also not heard from her for quite some time. But you know, I wonder if it wasn't all a bad thing. I know some in the family didn't completely approve of that match. Or at least that's what I had heard.
I'm afraid you may have the advantage. Do you speak to the Lord Prailme or another?
Oh, I've said too much. I wouldn't want to gossip. We don't. We're far above gossip at our station.
Of course.
But no, I had heard that someone very close to Bickford, wink wink, wasn't a fan of that potential union. But you hadn't heard such a thing. It's not gossip, of course. It's just chit-chat.
Of course, idle chit-chat. His dancing is getting worse. This is clearly taking a lot of his mental bandwidth as he's thinking about this. And your feet are beat up.
I gotta insight check this.
Go for it. Give me an insight roll.
And
You have a
There's no way.
You have an advantage.
There's actually no way you need to do
I kid you not. 5th natural one, but
Yeah,
I have
you have
There's literally
advantage.
no way.
Okay, that's a 16 plus that's a 21. No, 22 actually.
You must tell me who you are referring to. It was my understanding that Bickford and Lady Todar were to be wed one day. He was quite taken with her. So if someone in his family has been meddling, I owe it to him as my oldest friend to inform him of such things. He is a noble. He plays the game, but from your previous conversations, you gather he has but one move, and it is to stonewall, and he is not falling back upon that move.
Mm-hmm.
He seems fairly earnest.
Interesting. We'll have to speak on it another time. I wouldn't want to say too much, and our time is but short. Pleasanter topics. You said you've been friends with Bip and Bat for quite a while, if I can take the liberty of calling them by those charming nicknames. But their lives have changed rather recently, haven't they? I mean, they've not always been capable of hosting such soirees. They've always been around, I understand, but I hear things have kind of shifted up since the passing of their grandmother. What has that been like to see that as a friend?
Oh, it's been nice. The quality of the spirits at the soirees has improved considerably.
What do you mean by that?
I mean, they can afford nicer booze at their parties.
Spirit, I thought you meant like, I don't know. There's many ways that word can be interpreted.
Right.
Which meant like general cheer, perhaps.
So about Lady Todara, will you not tell me to who you were referring to?
I'll tell you. But I think it goes without saying that that kind of information, when it's so precious, warrants a quid pro quo. Because we're not gossiping. We're exchanging information.
Give me one last persuasion check.
Mamma mia. Natural 20! The epic highs and lows of this game tonight.
Of high school football.
What is your price?
What is my prize getting?
You worked so hard to get to here. Do you not have anything you want to know from this man?
No!
I thought you were
Okay,
cooking.
cut her some
You're cooking.
cut her some slack, okay? There's no way she could have possibly believed she was gonna get this far with 5 natural ones.
Look, I've hit a stone wall at the end of every conversation I've tried at this entire party.
Yeah.
I've had 5 natural ones. I guess I need to learn to believe in myself.
Just an idea. I know I'm not there. If you make him guess, and whatever name he says, you go, yes.
Oh, that's fun.
So Insurrection, his biggest doubt fulfilled.
Okay. I want to ask him something about the prince.
No, you should ask him something, yeah.
But I can do that too.
Yeah,
I can do
true.
your thing too. That's sneaky as hell. You've given me some inspiration. You see, I've been hearing snippets of a story, and it's not all come together in my mind, and I do so hate an incomplete story. The story I've been hearing about is about a disappearance, Lady Todara, and a ship in the night. So, tell me this. Who do you think was the last person, or rather involved, in the severance of the union between Bickford and Lady Orta Todara?
I can only act upon the information that has been provided to me. As I stated, I believe I was told she wrote him a letter. And it was my understanding it was of her own volition. You seem to believe otherwise. I don't see why that is of use if you wish me to guess when you claim to carry this information within you.
Fair enough. I was hoping to avoid the inelegancy of stating names. I was hoping
Lady
to just kind of...
Vaydark, you might find, unlike many of my peers at these parties, I do not care for the courtroom gossip and the idle games of the
And
bored
I do not
nobility.
care for having someone below me raise their voice to me. We're speaking politely. Perhaps I take a different approach than you do, but that certainly does not warrant impoliteness. Now,
My friend loved a woman and had his heart torn up. This is not a game to me. If you have information, I kindly ask that you relinquish it, or I believe our dance is finished. I have offered to pay a price, but I am not taking pleasure in this little game of yours.
I kindly ask that you stop charging on my feet. If you wish to have a polite conversation, you may seek me out. But I think we're done here. And I'm gonna exit. Oh, not strategic, but he was being nasty, and I'm sick of people being nasty to Faunalyn. I'm sick of it. I'm not gonna let 2 men raise their voice to me at this party. One almost killed me.
And the dance concludes. I think he storms off a little mad. And he doesn't hide it well. And you watch as Lady Crawin clocks it and smiles and goes to follow him. And the familiar voice of Lord Pilton can be heard nearby. And he says, Lady Vaydark, might I have a word?
Do you promise not to raise your voice to me? Because I swear to God, if a third man raises his voice to me tonight, I will do something so drastic.
I will not raise it above a whisper. I merely wish to smooth over our glaring differences.
Oh.
There was a time where we were friendly.
And he like kind of gestures towards like the edge of the ballroom.
Oh, I'm not taking a step towards seclusion with this man.
Not seclusion, like he's not trying to like lead you out of the room. He is just, you're in the middle of the dance floor. And he's just like, can we take like 4 steps over?
All right. Yeah, okay. Take 4 steps over.
He takes a 5th and then sees you've stopped and he stops and he's like, all right, good enough. And says,
there was a time when we were friendly. We spent a very nice time together this winter with Lord and Lady Berthold, and somewhere along the way things got muddy, I believe. Perhaps.
Yes, you tried to have me murdered on the drifting terraces. You can say check when I say that.
sure.
10 and I have advantage. 11. That's 17.
He kind of shakes his head.
See, I thought it was something to that extent.
And there is a performativeness that you pick up upon.
Mm-hmm.
It's not overt. It's not ham-fisted. He is amongst the best at this little game you all play.
I heard about your recent incident. I'm terribly sorry about that. I would not have wished that upon you even at the lowest point in our fractured relationship. Well, you see, it wounds me that you think that I had anything to do with that. I had only just arrived in the city but a few days before, and would not know how one would arrange such a ghastly thing to begin with. Is there anything I can do to make amends?
I know you to be a kind and reasonable man, Lord Pilton, and I also have very much enjoyed our time together. So let's let bygones be bygones. You shan't speak certain names in any circles, and I shan't speak of the things that the 2 goons said up on the terrace.
Well, it does make no difference to me what they may or may not have said, unless, of course, they were to slander my good name, but I imagine that would be a reasonable arrangement all the same. Shall we seal our rediscovered friendship with a toast?
Trying to decide whether Faunalyn has had the don't take drinks from creepy men PSA. Very well. A toast. Go on then.
And he kind of claps his hands, and a servant nearby rushes over with a tray with 2 goblets on it. And he takes one and offers you the other.
To your continued health, Lady Vaydark. May the future we share be brighter than the darkness of our past.
And to a friendship between 2 people who see each other clearly. Cheers, and I drink.
And he drinks.
And he says, now, if you must excuse me, I have to depart. I am quite wiped after such a splendid gala, and frankly, that bear I'm quite convinced is going to try and eat somebody before the night is through, and I am quite certain it shall not be me. Lady Vaydark.
And he bows and departs.
God, that man stresses me out. My dress has been like a squeamish color the entire time.
Just a putrid green yellow.
Yeah. Just the color of like social anxiety with a dash of, is this man gonna kill me?
And as you are having that thought, I would say your staff are peering through a window and just like waving frantically at you.
My dress goes the color of like relief and like the color of like, oh, thank God, I'm safe again. Whatever color that is. Use your imagination. Green, maybe. I don't know.
Like light blue.
Oh, like a light blue.
Maybe like a nice ombre of light blue into the green of a gentle glade.
Ooh.
What do you do? The third dance with, I believe, Cletir Keldar is next on your dance card. Is set to begin, but they are quite urgently trying to draw your attention.
I'm going to give them a gesture like, I see you. Get down. We're good. I'll be out in a minute. Because I assume they're trying to like wave me out or...
Yeah.
Yeah.
The mental image of you two just like smashed against the window is so cute.
Like trying to breathe on the glass.
Yeah.
Just drawing skulls.
Yeah.
I'm spelling oog, which is supposed to be go.
Ooh, get down. I am going to approach Cloutier and say, I haven't time for a dance. I insist you seek me out shortly at my residence. And then I'm going to whirl away. I care not for his reply to Electravoon. And I'm going to stand close to her, like close enough that I can speak low and she'll hear it.
Mhm.
But hopefully my voice won't carry and no one else will hear. And I will say, I'm tired of our little dance. You and I have a common enemy, in that the man who tried to kill your city is now trying to kill me. I'd like to work together. I haven't the time now, but I believe we should speak. If I live to see tomorrow, meet me at dawn in the park in the Sapphire District. Come alone.
Give me a persuasion roll.
That's a 15.
15 is what you needed.
Yes!
Nice.
She looks at you. Give me an insight check.
Oh, you know I love these tonight. That's a 4.
Advantage.
That's a natural 20.
Okay,
This night
let's
is
go. It's turning
unbelievable.
around.
We're bringing it back.
She locks eyes with you, and you feel perceived in a way that makes you profoundly uncomfortable. But you look back, and you perceive her, and you think you might have more in common than you had previously thought.
Oh, I understand this. I understand this woman. We're going to be besties or we're going to murder each other. And either way, it'll be fun.
I look forward to our rendezvous. Until tomorrow, madame.
And wish me luck because he really might kill me. Good night, darling. And I do the French double cheek kiss because I'm polite. And okay, I'm taking one more big swing. I head for the door. And as I go, I touch upon Bakra's arm, if I may, whatever she's doing. And I say, again in a low voice, I'm afraid I'm familiar with the reason your brother's engagement ended and the mechanism by which it did. If you don't want me to say any more, I would be tremendously curious as to why your house crest was upon the ship that Callista Galtries was taken away upon. You know where to find me. And I leave. Look, Fallow said show them who you are, and this is who Faunalyn is.
This is not what Fallow meant.
Oh,
You depart.
depart.
Nobody stops you.
Did anybody stop me?
I'd like to see them try.
I think you, with one last sweep of the room, the third dance begins. Cloutier is left partnerless and just stands off to the side, drinking a glass of champagne.
I don't remember telling him he can drink.
He's on the clock.
You see Garfield drinking a martini with 2 olives, looking very morose, just kind of sitting in the corner. And you step outside,
And we're right there.
and you are right there.
I think I just lit everything on fire. But Hamlet's not going to kill me, probably. So that's cool. I think I could turn him into an ally, actually. But I think I've lit everything on fire, and we should leave now.
Super, super proud of you. There's demons afoot, and there's monsters in the basement, and there's a whole crypt of, I think, old servants in the basement. I don't know what's going on up here. I'm sure you found some really good stuff. We should go.
This place is cursed.
Where should we go?
Anywhere but here. Literally anywhere. Jimmy is on a carriage with the prince.
Yeah.
Oh, good. Okay. I don't know if home is safe.
You don't think home is safe?
I just gave like 8 people active incentive to kill us.
Why?
And there's malware. There's a little voice in my head saying, leverage them. And sometimes I don't even know what I want.
I have a little voice in my head that says, you should never have left home.
Did you listen to it?
No.
Oh, well, I listened to mine. So I guess that's the difference between me and you. Clay, do you have any voices in your head? Why are we talking? We have to go.
She's right.
I guess we head for the carriages, eh?
Yeah. Where's the last place they look? Besides the sewers? Because I feel like they're kind of onto that whole shtick.
I have a thought and it's insane. I don't think you guys will like it. But do you remember the true king of Erdenine? He lives in a treehouse outside of the
The
city.
perv.
Strider?
Fletcher.
Alternatively, Clay knows like 45 people because Clay has 45 jobs.
To be fair, Clay, Fletcher wasn't actually a perv.
He was a perv narc. I remember clearly. We'll just have to sleep in shifts.
Didn't we make up some of the pervishness?
No, he was into some weird shit.
Oh, okay.
I remember them tying him to a ship, and I don't think they would do that for no reason.
Yeah, because we made them.
Okay, so it sounds like you're very comfortable sleeping at his house.
I can't remember where the lines were drawn.
You can take the bed closest to his room.
Sure.
Does Clay know anywhere else to hide out in the city?
I was going to say we could go to Riggs' hideout, because why would they look there?
What are the odds of people getting murdered at that place twice in a row?
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying.
The murderer is onto that place already.
I'd say Clay, there's Riggs's old hideout. There's Fuzam. There's Madame Fauvemal. There's the church.
Oh, yeah.
There's the Artists Guild. You also know a place about 2 days south of the city, if you're trying to really get out of town, a place where you grew up.
But I don't want to go anywhere like that will get someone close to be caught either.
You have lost quite a few friends already in this process.
Yeah. Well, we need to go pick up all of our stuff.
Yeah, that's a good call. So if anything, we should go back home and maybe tell the people to go on vacation for a couple days or something.
No, I'm fine with using Kazran and Mala as meat shields. They've served me well. Why should they stop now?
What about Fallow?
Yeah.
God, Fallow, we can't go home! Oh god, what if they've gone to hurt Fallow already? Okay, we must go back.
Mm-hmm.
And I can't be far from the Sapphire District, and I have ceviche for her, and it might be spoiling. I have ceviche for you both as well, and I reach my hand.
Ceviche. No one gives a shit.
As you say that, I emerge from my dress with 2 fistfuls of ceviche, and I look very sad. I'm like, so you don't want it?
I am famished. I will eat it, but that's beside the point.
I plorp some ceviche into your hand then, and it is warm.
Thank you. Let's leave.
Here you go, Clay.
I accept.
Open up.
Not in my mouth. I just take it in my hands.
Sure, you both stick it in your pockets.
You're supposed to pop it on the roof of your mouth like caviar, but it's very chewy.
Yum.
Okay.
Are you all going to the carriages together? Are you sending one of them or 2 of them to go alert Colston so that the carriage is brought around?
I think we can go together. I think we're in a rush.
Mm-hmm.
Faunalyn just threatened the hostess.
Yeah.
Okay. From the inside of the mansion, you hear the distant sound of midnight being struck. It is very late, and you hear a distant and as you hurry down the path that Clay and Glimki know, Glimki, you look up onto the roof of the mansion, and you see a bird man staring down at you.
That motherfucker.
You keep running. Faunalyn, your stomach starts to churn.
Oh,
God.
eating food.
The champagne!
You hurry along. You get to the carriage. You alert Colston that it's time to go. He collects his earnings. Your face starts to burn. Your fingertips start to go numb.
What?
You pull into the carriage, and with a "Hyah!" you start to exit the Pralmy estate. There's the hooting of owlbears off in the distance. The carriage rolls along into the trees. This path is still illuminated by the fireflies that welcomed you but a few hours ago. And you look out the window. Glimki, you see an insect. A locust. Attached to the carriage. Just crawling there. Faunalyn starts to retch.
Oh my god.
Don't do this.
You feel like your insides are turning to liquid. You feel like your entire body is burning up.
What the fuck?
The carriage is rolling along and suddenly comes to a stop. You hear Colston Faddlefiddle say, Hey, watch it! I nearly...
Oh no.
A swarm of locusts swirl around the carriage, covering the windows, obscuring your view. At the 12th stroke of midnight,
Oh shit, that's a lot of dice.
Faunalyn, I need a Constitution saving throw.
Oh, yeah. Oh, God. Okay. That's a 16. Are locusts gonna come out of my mouth?
Ugh.
You take 30 poison damage.
Holy shit.
I go unconscious.
Clay, I'd say Faunalyn drops into your arms and you catch her.
Oh my god.
Glimki, you, amongst this swarm of locusts, push the door open. There's these flapping wings everywhere, but it is completely quiet. You do not hear hooting, you do not hear the sound of these fluttering wings, you do not hear anything. You kind of just swat your hands, clearing a path through the swarm, and you see, standing perhaps 15 feet up the path, a hulking figure clad in this black cloak that whips around him
Oh no.
in the evening breeze, a swarm of locusts pooling at his feet. In one hand, he holds a massive war pick, and his head is clad in a wrought iron helmet depicting a swarm of locusts.
Oh, God.
Oh god.
And that's where we're stopped tonight's session of Bard Soup.
We're gonna die. We're dead.
Happy Halloween! Ha ha ha! Spooked ya, didn't I? Thank you. Thank you for joining us for this chilling Halloween episode of Bard Soup. I have been your spooktacular dungeon master, Zach Meikle, joined as always by my three ghoulish compatriots: Prima Zhao as Clay Campbell, Jordan Johnsen as Glimki Treefellow, and Shannon Meikle as Faunalyn Vaydark. If you're liking the show, hey, instead of candy, how about giving us a 5-star review this year? We'd appreciate it. Apple, Spotify, wherever you listen to your podcasts. Same time, you can follow us on TikTok or Instagram for some juicy little memes and stuff. And we'll be back in 2 weeks. Bye-bye.
Which is the nicest thing he could have called me. I was bracing myself for some nuclear grade misogyny.
Eh, he's an ally.
He's trying to kill my friend. He kidnapped a woman. But he would have also kidnapped a man.